Okay. Hello, 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 everybody. Let me know that you can see me and hear me because I always get nervous when I have my little intro card up to start the episode. It feels like a very much of a trust fall when I do that. I don't know why, because sometimes I've done it before and just the audio goes out. It's very strange. So let me double check everything, make sure everything's broadcasting correctly. Again, I get nervous. Okay, it looks like we're live over on YouTube. When I do that, I don't know why, because sometimes. Yeah, it looks okay. Yes. Okay, cool. Zuri said, sent you a message on IG. Okay. I know, probably separately, right? I saw it before I started broadcasting. So let me just double check that. It has nothing. Yes. Okay, cool. Good. That's what I want to hear. Cool. Not broadcasting over to Instagram, at least not right now. Instagram's really pissing me off. Can I say that? Can I say that on here without getting blocked or censored or something? No, I don't want to filter. Okay. Yes. All right. Good. All right. Want to make sure that I'm always broadcasting correctly. So yes, welcome to the weekly Friday night live show. I want to pull up my notes, make sure that I'm referencing things correctly. Oh, yes. Thank you, Zuri. I totally understand that. It's been ridiculous. So Zuri said, I said it in case you thought a spammer messaged you earlier. No, I know it's you. I totally know it's you. And we will definitely exchange information. Because yeah, it's out of control, folks. Like I did this whole TikTok because somebody reached out to me actually from the tapping group or the tapping certification that I'm going through Gala Darling. And yes, it is that Gala Darling. I am like so excited. Like I will let you guys know more about this certification that I'm going through for EFT tapping using like her methods. And oh my God, it is just so amazing. But anyway, there are a bunch of students, and so we're all like contacting each other over the gram, and so one of them reached out to me and said like, "Hey, I got this. Like, I started following you, but like then I got this weird message from somebody else, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't you, but I wanted to let you know." And so I said, thank you, but like I'm already quite aware, unfortunately, and all you have to do is report and block and ignore those DMs. But it really pisses me off. And also, if you're going to reach out to someone to let them know they have an impersonator or a scammer or a spammer, you need to let us know about their handles, the handles that they're using to impersonate us so that we can go ahead and file our own stuff and make sure that we're doing everything correctly and we have that handle, because it is very difficult for us to address those impersonation claims if we don't have their username. So not only taking screenshots of the DMs that you're being sent, but also make sure that you let us know what their username is. That is very helpful because oftentimes, like they usually do a preemptive strike after copying all of our stuff. They block us so that we cannot see them, and so we don't know what they're doing, and they're doing stuff in our name, and it pisses us off. It pisses us off even more so than you guys. So here are a couple of things that we would like you to do. Please report and block those accounts. Please let us know what the username is so that we can do our own takedown notices and file complaints and do the legal right thing. And then also, I would say the third step is to book a reading with the legitimate person. Like, once you know the person is legitimate, please book a reading with us, because that will be, I don't know, like, that just to me solidifies like that we're not doing this for no reason, that we actually have a purpose, that we're actually valued and worthy and matter, and we truly do want to, do our job and be paid for it. And also, like, this is not, we're not trying to scam you. It's not us trying to scam you. This is part of the reason why we don't DM people and solicit readings through DM, because it's sleazy. So anyway, I'm sure most of you are already familiar with this and have already heard my rants before. I did an entire episode on spammers, scammers, and charlatans on this very weekly series, so I'm not going to go into it anymore. But I did do a TikTok today about basically analyzing a DM that somebody sent to me, or basically took a screenshot of me, and this is my impersonator. And I'm just like, all right, here are all the reasons this is wrong, 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 and I don't speak like this. So if you want to have a little laugh, please feel free to go over to my TikTok. It's, again, at Tarot by Hilary. It's the same thing across the board. Like, that is my only username. It's exhausting. It's exhausting, folks. And we want to be able to put our worthy energy onto giving you all stellar readings, and not having to deal with this shit 5-10 times a day. All right? All right. So Zuri says, necessary housekeeping for new people and as a refresher to the loyal followers. Exactly. Exactly. It's so frustrating, Anyway, let me see if I have a link to that particular episode. Actually, can I pull up a TikTok and show a TikTok on here? Actually, I think I can. Can I? Let me see. Okay, I didn't want to have to do this because TikTok's supposed to be fun and social media is supposed to be fun, but it is really... I'm going to copy the link. I'm going to see if I can do it. If I can't do it, fine, but if I can do it, I'm going to share it here. Let's see. Let's see if I can play this. I might not be able to, though. Nah, it's not letting me. That's sad. Oh, well. You can see my rants another time. Anyway, I haven't even introduced myself yet, and we're 10 minutes into the episode. So, hello and welcome to the broadcast. I am Hilary of tarotbyhilary.com, professional tarot reader, demystifying the mystical and putting you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. I firmly believe that everybody has intuition. So, on tonight's episode, this is an episode that was requested by a loyal viewer. Oh yeah, totally. My TikTok handle is the same, at Tarot by Hilary. Where do I have it? Actually, let me quickly switch up the overlay. Because I totally made a pretty overlay with my TikTok handle and with my Instagram handle. And it's the same in both places, Tarot by Hilary. And for some reason, my husband is waving at me. What, dear?
Brian called me to tell me that the power is going to be going back out again, like around 8:30. Because when they did the first recovery, not everybody got their power back.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to keep it tight for this episode. If you happen to hear Mr. Tarot by Hilary, apparently our power is going to go out again. So yeah, we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it tight. That is really frustrating.
Yeah, because not everybody got their power all back.
Yikes. All right. Well, I'm going to keep my candles burning then. I have 3 candles over on our TV stand that I've been burning all day. Did I mention that the power has gone out twice today? It's been a fun day, folks. It's been a really fun day. All right. Thank you for letting me know, honey. So I'm glad I did all of my work beforehand, and I had an email reading that I had to do, which I did right before the broadcast, and I'm glad that I did that, so that the power goes out. We're going to be using mobile hotspots and shit, and charging up our stuff. All right, where is my overlay? It's been a while since I used it. I haven't used it since August 27th. And it's super cute. That makes me mad. Anyway. So, not on altars. Year-long spread. So, let me just tell you quickly what this episode is about if you haven't read the description yet. So, tonight we are talking about the year-long spread through the Amberstones Method. So this is Ruth Ann and Wald Amberstone and their year-long spread. It's something that a viewer of mine, Jenny, asked for very specifically and sent me the information. So I'm going to do a very cursory overview of what it is, so that you guys can try it out for yourself. And if you want more information, you can definitely go to the Amberstones and check out their work. It's thetaroschool.com is their URL. But I am happy to bring this information to you. And I've already pulled the cards, the necessary cards, but I will walk you through it step by step. I've already done the work ahead of time because it does involve some preparation in pulling all of the major arcana cards out of the deck and making basically 2 separate decks, and then also pulling out your birth cards. So if you're confused, don't worry about it. I will walk you through step by step, I promise. So let me clean this up a little bit. And yeah, this looks good. And I'm going to change out the date because it is February 18th. Download, and I'm going to click a transparent background and go. Okay. Thank you for putting up with me as I quickly make that overlay. Because it's been a while. Haven't used this overlay since August 17th. The only problem with it, though, is that when I show comments, I'm not able to, you're not able to see my thing. But, okay, is that better, Zuri? Let me know if that looks good. Looks good, looks palatable. And that way also you have the agenda right over here so that we don't lose our place in all of this. So it also gives the agenda, all right, shut up, Common Assistant. It also gives the basically the structure of these lives. So I do these lives every Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come rain, shine, hell, or high water, I do these episodes. And so I'm going to put up the crawler Fridays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right at your bat channel, wherever you're tuning in from. If you're able to see this, whether you're here live or you're tuning in for the replay, this is when we do it, or this is where we do it. And I always have a replay for every single live show. But it is more fun usually to show up for the lives. That way you can ask your questions live in real time. I can answer you. And also don't be shy about asking questions, because you might have the exact same question that someone else that is watching the replay may have. And then they would only be getting the text version, me writing back in the comments, rather than having, me answer live. It's just more fun. I mean, and I think a lot of people that watch these lives every Friday night can attest to that. So, and please feel free to drop that into the chat if you are a regular viewer. We'd love to hear it. So yeah, every Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do these episodes. And usually at the start of a month, we do the scheduling episode. So I am looking for our schedule of events, so I can pull that up so you guys can see that. So here's the problem with the overlay. It goes over the things that I want to display. Here. No, that's not what I wanted to do. All right, covers up my face, but whatever. So as you can see, for February, we had In Bulk, which was part of the Sabbath series, starting on Friday the 4th. Usually that's the scheduling episode, but I knew what I wanted to do for the month of February, so we didn't have a scheduling episode. Last Friday on the 11th, I did live one-card readings because I didn't feel like teaching that night. It was also the last day of my day job. Which now my day job is this, what you're seeing here. And now tonight we're doing the year-long spreads, which I call the Amberstones Method because it does come from Ruth Ann and Wald Amberstone of the Tarot School. This is again by popular request. Jenny requested I do this episode. And then next week, we're going to continue on with another year-long spread, and that is the 13 Moon spread from Kim Kranz of the Wild Unknown Tarot deck fame. She also did the Animal Spirit Oracle deck and also the Archetypes Oracle deck. So yeah, that is a completely different year-long spread. It is a year-long spread, but it's just a different kind of one. So I figured let's end off February with two different approaches to year-long spreads to see the differences, the similarities, and also what you like best or what you want to try out for yourself. So I hope that sounds good to everybody. Zuri says, I'm on mobile, so I can see it. Thumbs up. Awesome. Great. That's what I want to hear. And I am broadcasting to several different streams right now. I'm on YouTube. I'm on my Facebook Watch. I think I am on my personal page, and also I am broadcasting into my my Tarot Intuitive Facebook group for my tarot students. So if you're seeing it there, I don't know if I'll be able to see your comments, but I'll definitely look later to see if there's any questions that might have popped up in those particular places. So anyway, we start out every episode, though, with the astrology or the astro-weather from Teresa Reed's wonderful Astro Biz Digest. So I'm going to go ahead and display that. And also display the link to the Astro Biz Digest. So I usually only give a snippet of the Astro Biz Digest. This is something that is a subscription that you can subscribe to. It's a yearly subscription over on her page, thetarotlady.com/Astro Biz Digest, $99 for the year, and you get a bunch of astrology in layman's terms every single week in your email inbox. It's really great. It is geared towards entrepreneurs and business owners, but I found it to be very, very helpful in just planning my personal life as well. So I only give Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because I don't want to give away the farm. I want you to be interested in Teresa's work and head on over there after the episode. don't go anywhere yet, after the episode if you're interested, and purchase a copy, a subscription of your own so you can see what she's talking about. I mean, this is like a steal. $99 for a year's worth of astrology from a well-known astrologer and tarot reader, and she's been doing this for over 30 years. Like, come on. It's pretty great. It's pretty awesome. So, I'm gonna hide that. And gonna hide that. So if we were ready for the astro weather, please give me a hell yeah. I also want to remind people, if you're watching this and you're liking what you're seeing, please go ahead, hit the bell for alerts the next time I go live. Subscribe wherever you're viewing this. It really helps me. And also book a reading at tarotbyhilary.com. I would love to serve you through the magic and the power of the tarot, and get you in touch with your own intuition as well. So I have bookings available for next week. I am doing readings pretty much Monday through Friday, some appointments available on the weekends as well. And I can take up to 3 people a day for their readings. So please, I would love to serve you, tarotbyhilary.com. And yeah, let's do it with the tarot, right? All right, pulling up the AstroBiz Digest for this week. As we started with Valentine's Day, did we not? Yes, we started with Valentine's Day. So what I like to do for the AstroBiz Digest, for the astro weather, is I like to go over basically the bigger events, that is affecting the week. And then we get into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Katie is here. Hello, Katie. Welcome. You're just in time for the astro weather. So modify as you see fit, my Australian friend, because most of this is in Eastern Standard Time. So I know you have to adjust for your time zone. All right. So first of all, Mercury was in Aquarius on the 14th. So this transit of the messenger planet is hot for community building, networking, social media, and all of the technology. Use it well, and you could see a bump in your audience. It's also a fantastic time for brainstorming. Conjure up new and innovative ideas with your team and get ready to wow the public. P.S. In all communications, head over heart. Trust me on that. And Mercury remains in Aquarius until March 9th. So we are under that banner of Mercury in Aquarius until March 9th. We also have a full moon in Leo happening on the 16th. So that was the middle of the week. And it was also 2 days ago. So we're still kind of feeling the effects of the full moon in Leo. To me, and remember, I'm not a professional astrologer, I'm a professional tarot reader. But from what I've seen about full moons is you can usually feel the effects or reap the effects of a full moon 3 days before, the day of, and 3 days after. So we're still in that full moon in Leo energy. We're in the tail end of it, but we're still in it. So consider this your time to celebrate you. Toot your horn and brag about your recent accomplishments. Be proud of how far you've come. It is also an excellent day for tying up loose ends on big projects. If a deadline is looming, get it done today. Adina is here as well. Guys, you can't creep in like that. You have to say hello. Otherwise, I'm not going to see you. All I see is a little eyeball with the number of people watching. I don't see who it is. So you got to say hi in the chat. Let me know that you're here. Tina creeping in. Emotions roar to life when Sun drifts into dreamy Pisces on the 18th. So that is today. The next 4 weeks will find folks tender-hearted, which means you'll want to keep your sensitivity high in all communications. Touch hearts with loving newsletters and bring greater empathy to all your interactions. This transit is also super for creative work. Batch a ton of content, brainstorm fresh ideas, let your artistic side flourish. Intuition rises, so be sure to trust your biz instincts all month long. The sun remains in Pisces until March 20th. So we are solidly in Pisces season right now. All right, so that is the overview. Are we ready to get to the nitty-gritty of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? I want to see a hell yeah. Another hell yeah. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and hydrate, because I was about to do that before I started talking about the astrology, and then I forgot because I got excited. All right. Katie says hell yeah. Zuri says bring it on. Okay. Cool. Cool. I forgot to put on lipstick. I usually put on lipstick for these. Sorry. Lip balm it is. Even though I have my pile of stuff from Ipsy. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how much makeup I have, you guys. Out of control. And notice I don't have a stitch on my face right now. I've just got piles of books and everything. And I'm not wearing that lip. This is too dark of a lipstick for me. It's cute and everything, but too dark. It is like purple on me, so that is not going to be happening right now. Lip balm it is. Okay, so Friday, February 18th today. This day begins on a foggy note due to the moon opposing Neptune at 8:22 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Nothing is clear, people are acting snippy, and the critics don't know what they are talking about. It's not a good morning for making decisions, so hold off for a bit. I think I slept through. I slept in this morning, and I think I'm glad about that when I'm seeing the astrology. The sun sails into gentle Pisces at 11:43 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We already talked about that. I read the scope to learn more about that sensitive transit, and we are under that Pisces season until March 20th. The moon stations void at 6:20 p.m. after trining Pluto. A dinner with a power player could be a wise move, or chill out, your choice. Once La Luna enters Libra at 10:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's your green light to focus on relationships over the weekend. Forge new ones and strengthen current partnerships. Everyone's a winner. So today, Friday, February 18th, 2022, is a power day for Virgo and a weekday for Pisces, which is interesting because we just moved into the sun in Pisces. So I don't know, maybe it's a weekday for Pisces because of all the other transits that are going on today. Okay, Saturday and Sunday. Use this weekend for meetings, negotiating, and networking. The Libra moon is so good for these activities. Saturday finds the moon in a trine with Mercury at 7:18 a.m. This would be a fab morning for popping out a newsletter or hosting a live stream on social media. Choose a way to connect with your community and then do it. Saturday is peaceful and productive overall, but you'll want to avoid communication around 4:58 p.m. when the moon opposes Chiron. The walking wounded want drama then. Don't give it to them. Sunday has a few ugly aspects in the morning. Why work when you can enjoy brunch instead? Do a little light networking in the afternoon and then take the rest of the day for me time. Both days are power days for Libra and weekdays for Aries. Shit. Well, this Aries girl is not happy about that. That both days this weekend are weekdays for Aries. So maybe I'll just go back to bed. I'll just sleep. I'll just sleep in all weekend, not do anything. That might be a better use of my time rather than railing against the energy. I am kidding, by the way. Okay, so at this time, since we've already done Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and also taken a look over the larger astrological transits that are going on this week, I'd like to open up the floor to anyone who wants to investigate Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Not all of it, of course. I will take a select few. But if you happen to have a rotten Tuesday and you want to know Was there an astrological explanation for it? I will take a look for you. So again, my purpose on sharing a little bit of the AstroBiz Digest is not to take away from Teresa's work, but to enhance Teresa's work, call it out there, let it be seen so that you can go ahead and purchase a subscription to the AstroBiz Digest for yourself, because honestly, it really guides me in a lot of the stuff that I've been planning. Right, exactly. Thank you, Dina. Thank you, Dina, our resident astrologer, because I am not an astrologer, folks, because Moon in Virgo Pisces is opposite the Aries. Got it. Thank you. That makes total sense. All right, I will leave this open for one more minute, and then we are going to get into the topic of tonight's episode, which is the year-long spread from the Amberstones, requested by Jenny. So I wanna see if Jenny is actually here, because this is your episode, Jenny. I hope you're able to watch it live, but if you're not, that's okay too. I'm going to put down the timer widget, and I'm going to give it another minute. And that is not the right year-long spreads episode in 46 seconds, 45, 44. By the way, my mother has been texting me this entire time. So, you know, that tradition is alive and well. Let me see. So any questions about the astrology for this past week, other than Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, let me know. You have 15 seconds in which to do so. Speak now. Okay. I guess your weeks went swimmingly then, or at least you had a reason for the season, as it were. I'm going to quickly check my messages again, just to make sure. Cool, cool. Yeah. Okay. So no. No, Katie, no. She's not. She's just texting that she went out to get coffee and she's out shopping. She had a lovely day today. She was out and about. So whenever she's out and about, we have like a group text, just to check in on her, make sure that she's okay, make sure that she gets home safely. You know, we worry. You know, gee, I wonder where we got that from. Okay, so this is requested. So it's a year-long spread from the Amberstones, and this was requested by Jenny. Thank you, Jenny, for requesting this. She gave me the link to the year-long spread. It's explained in part 5 of the document. So this is from the tarotschool.com. So it's tarotschool.com. She asks, I'd really love input on reading the month card and the day cards through the lens of the birth and year cards. Thank you. So you're welcome, and we will get to that. So, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to read this out loud. If you want more information about this particular, I just want to make sure I got the right URL. Oh, and by the way, the Tarot School has a lot of correspondence courses as well, audio courses, teleclasses, books, decks, study guides. They have a bunch of stuff. So the Tarot School is most well known to me because they usually put on the Reader's Studio, which is one of the largest tarot conferences in the world. It usually happens, I think, at the end of April. the last weekend in April usually. And it's usually held in New York. Most of the time it's been in Queens. So it was really easy for me to get to. The first year I went, I ended up staying with my friend who's also a fellow tarot reader, Courtney Weber. And I ended up driving us back and forth. And as soon as the first day of the conference was over, we like looked at each other and we're just like, no, we're just going to split a hotel room the next time around because it's just too much energy, and I should really probably do a separate episode about, navigating the energy of a conference, especially like a weekend long conference, because it can get a lot. It can be very intense. And, you have to prepare for it and also be willing to take breaks and be willing to not do it all. I made that mistake the first the first tarot conference I attended, where I felt like my crown chakra was completely fried because it was just I wanted to do everything, and sometimes you just can't do everything. You have to take time to ground yourself and breathe and take some meditation breaks and pace yourself when you're in that environment. Anyway, so this is how I know the Amberstones, because they run the tarot school and they also do Reader's Studio. I don't believe Reader's Studio is happening this year because, the pandemic is still present, and it would be foolish to think that it's completely gone. And if you're one of those people that are just like, no, it's gone, or there is no pandemic, and blah, 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 like you're probably not watching the right channel. And go and God bless, or Goddess bless. Anyway, so the tarot school's information I'm going to drop into the chat. It's just tarotschool.com. Speaking of the pandemic, I have very dry skin because I've just been washing and sanitizing my hands over and over and over again. So I'm going to go ahead and share that URL, tarotschool.com. That's where you can find some of this information. So if you're interested in more information like this year-long spread, please go ahead and go to tarotschool.com after the episode. Do your own research about this. So first, I'm going to do a little bit of reading, and I don't necessarily know if I want to share this document because I don't know where it originally came from. This actually came from notes from the Tarot School Salon, spreads for the new year. So I didn't want to spread this around necessarily if it was not commonly known. So this is part of the reason why I'm saying, like, if you want more information on the year-long spread or you want some documentation, please go to tarotschool.com and do your own research and, mention, Tarot by Hilary introduced this concept to me, but I know that it's yours. Can you explain more about it? Or is there anything you would recommend so I can research more of this? So this again comes from Jenny. She wanted me to focus on the year-long spread that is illustrated in part 5 of this Notes from the Tarot School Salon, Spreads for the New Year. I believe this was created in 2014, actually. That's what the copyright says. So this is a 5 to 6 card spread. Oh, did I download? Oh, I didn't download my work. I'll do it at that. I'll do that in a second. So, if you need to go back and watch the replay and pause it, I think that would be very wise. I think this is one of those episodes where you're going to have to come back to it later after the live and do the replay and pause it for each of the different steps. So I've already done the steps ahead of time so that I could be prepared to present this information to you. So you'll see that in a second when I display my spread, my 5-card spread for this particular year-long spread. So I'll just stop explaining. I'm just going to go ahead and read this, and then I will go through and I will do the steps with you. So the preparation that you need to do for this year-long spread is separate the major arcana cards from the deck, determine your birth cards, and then take the birth cards out of the majors and set them aside. So it's almost like you're going to be doing 3 piles. One pile of major arcana cards only, one small pile of your birth, determining your birth cards, and then taking the birth cards out and doing a separate pile. So at the end of this, you should have 3 piles. Okay. So the year-long spread is a tarot practice. In order to do the spread properly, you will need to know your birth cards. So we've done episodes on birth cards before. If you want to use a really quick cheat sheet or quick way to do it, the Amberstones, the Tarot School, does have a birth card calculator. So I will also include that here in the links. But I've already determined my birth cards, only because I've had to do it before. And again, we have done an episode on birth cards and year cards before in this particular series of weekly episodes. So go back into the archives of the replays and check out that episode. If you're not familiar with birth cards, you would need to look at that episode first in order to determine your birth cards. Or you can just go to tarotschool.com/calculator.html and you can calculate your birth cards from there. Actually, you know what? Do that now. You have my permission. I'll give you a minute. Go to the link, then come back. Go to the link, put in your information, take a look at that, and then come back. That way I can hydrate. And I'm not going to play the Jeopardy theme because that's how my video got flagged for copyright infringement, at least on YouTube. Actually, let me share my screen. Let me see if I can do this. Cool, I can do this. Hold on a second. No. There we go. So hopefully you can see that. And I'm going to navigate over to that tab so I can show you. So all you have to do is put in your month, your day, and your year, and hit the calculate button, and it should come up with your birth cards. And then, don't do this now, you can learn about your birth cards by clicking over here. I already know that my birth cards are Death Emperor. So stop sharing that tab. It's a very useful feature. Thank you, BeLive, for having all of these useful features. Okay, so does everyone have their birth cards or already know their birth cards? Say yes in the chat, or let me know what your birth cards are. If you don't want to share your birth cards, that's fine, but let me know that you've at least calculated them. Because this is definitely an audience participation episode. Though I am looking at the time and concerned about the power going out. What time did you say the power was going to go out? What time did you say the power was going to go out?
That's what I've heard.
No, but what time?
8:30, somewhere around there.
All right, I'm keeping an eye on the time. Okay, so Katie says, yes, mine are the same as yours, Death Emperor. Okay, cool. All right, great. So, good. All right, let me keep going. So the year-long spread is a tarot practice. In order to do the spread properly, you will need to know your birth cards. See determining your birth cards. This is another spread that is good to begin at the new year, but you may start it at any time. It is a combination of a spread and a practice that is done every day for a year. So it can be a little bit overwhelming. Like if you're not comfortable with just doing a card of the day, like you probably don't want to do the year-long spread. You don't want to do these like this intense spread and practice. You know, if you want to be intense, that's fine. And that's the reason why we're doing this episode, because it was requested. But if you're not comfortable pulling, you know, a card or 3 cards already, you probably don't want to start out with this. Work your way up. So at the end of that time, you may, if you wish, continue your practice with a new spread. So this is something that's intense. A day is a long time. A year has 365 of them, almost an eternity. As mentioned previously, it's a common practice among tarotists to pick a card every day and contemplate its message. So that's a card of the day. This spread will elaborate on that practice and give you a mighty piece of contemplation to do. So if you're someone that doesn't like to contemplate, this spread is probably not for you. For this exercise, you will need a dedicated deck that you don't use for anything else during the coming year. So you need a deck, a separate deck. You know, if you're someone that reads for other people or reads for yourself separately and you want to do different spreads, like you are going to need 2 decks. You know, you're going to need one deck for this practice because you're not shifting your cards. It's almost like you're not playing with a full deck if this is your only deck that you use. So you need this deck separate. You'll see in a second why I'm saying that. Prepare a special place to keep and refer to the cards you will be using for this exercise. There will never be more than 5 of them at a time, or 5 or 6 of them at a time if you happen to have 3 birth cards instead of 2 birth cards. There will never be more than 6 of them at a time, so you won't need a big space. Your altar might do very nicely. So first, you take your 2 or 3 birth cards out of the deck. Second, you make a separate deck out of the major arcana minus your birth cards and draw 1 card from this little deck for the year. So you take your birth cards out of the deck entirely. Then you separate out the major arcana from the minor arcana, and you have a separate deck of major arcana only, okay? Minus your birth cards. Then you take that separate deck of majors only, shuffle it up, and draw 1 card from that deck for the year. So this is your year card. It's not calculated separately like we've talked about for birth cards and year cards. You're not doing an addition to subtract year card here. You are pulling the year card from this little major onlys deck that you've created, minus the birth cards. So you're shuffling and drawing only 1 card from that little deck for the year. Contemplate this card as your theme for the year. Spend some time every day for the next year doing at least a small contemplation on this card. Contemplate this year card in the context of your birth cards. So you may want to have a separate time in looking at your birth cards and looking at the year card that you pulled and examining those first before you move on to the next step. So is everyone with me so far? And if you're lost, it's okay. And I'm seeing things pop up. Sorry. So Zuri is also Death Emperor. Okay, cool. All right. So we've got 3 of us that are Death Emperor. And Dina is Hermit and the Moon. So we've talked about this before because many of you that are here for this episode were also there for the birth card and year cards episode, which is great. So we already have that information. And Zuri, we're all copying you because we want to be just like you. Okay. So if everyone's still following me in the description, please let me know in the chat. I'm going to keep going. So, but first, before you move on to the next step, you really want to contemplate your birth cards, and you want to contemplate your year card that you pulled from the majors only deck that you created or put aside that is minus the birth cards. So you're looking at 3 to 4 cards in that. So for me, I'm going to spoil things a little bit. So for me, I've already pulled out Death and the Emperor for Death Emperor. And then in my majors only, I shuffled and I got the Justice card, which just made me laugh. So those are the 3 cards that I'm examining together. And I'm also going to go back to Jenny's question. I'd really love input on reading the month card and day cards through the lens of the birth and year cards. So I think what Jenny's question has to do, because it can be a little bit confusing reading cards through the lens of other cards. So to me, it is almost like a layering. So it's almost like you're doing a 3-card spread, and then you're adding onto it by putting the month card, and then you're adding and then contemplating and then adding on again by putting on the day card. So it's almost as if you're not really doing a 5 to 6 card spread. You're doing like little mini readings at one time as you add. So the first of the mini readings would be contemplating your birth cards in conjunction with your year card that you pulled. So I've got Death Emperor, and then I've also got Justice. So to me, that is almost a contemplation of those 3 cards as my relationship with justice, or my relationship with balance, or my relationship with leadership versus control versus releasing control, which is definitely one of the big themes between the for Death Emperor. If any of you are already doing this along with me, if you've already separated out your cards, let me know. Put in your results in the chat. I would love to hear it. This is probably going to be one of those ones, again, where you watch the replay and you pause it so you can go through this step by step. So I totally understand. If you haven't done it, it's okay. But since a bunch of us are already Death Emperors in here, the next progression would be just pulling your card from your majors only minus your birth cards, and seeing what you get, and also seeing what you get in relation to your birth cards and your year card. But that really quickly is the 3-card spread that I'm examining right now because I pulled the Justice card. So yes, I'm putting myself on the proverbial chopping block here just to show you an example of what this year-long spread from the Amberstones looks like. All right. Moving on. So now that I have done that, spend some time every day for the next year doing at least a small contemplation on this card. Contemplate the year card in context of your birth cards. Okay, fine. So the next step in this is third, shuffle the remaining major arcana, little separate deck, back into the rest of the deck. So you're now combining those two decks again. Okay. And then shuffle. And now you would pick one from this deck as your theme for the month. So right now we're in February. So this is your theme for the month for February. So you're pulling that card and then you're contemplating that card within the context of the year card that you just picked and then also your birth cards. So you should have 4 to 5 cards right now. These cards together will contain an augmented message for the month. So for the month, I got the Fool, which again, very pertinent, very interesting. I laughed out loud. Oh, and Jenny is here. Great, because this is your episode, Jenny. So Jenny says, I got Moon Hermit birth cards, Wheel of Fortune year card, and Lovers for the month. That's interesting. That's really interesting considering I got the Lovers card for today. So yes, exactly. So that's the tricky part, combining them all. So I don't know when you came in, Jenny, but what I was saying before, and I am referencing your exact question, is in contemplating. Oh, good. Yeah, you made it. This is your episode. So in contemplating this, I feel like it's not so much a lump sum. It is like always going back. So it's just like, okay, so first of all, it's a 3-card reading. You know, you've got your birth cards and then you've got your card. And then you add on. So now it's your birth cards, your year card, your month card. And then you read that and you contemplate that all together. And then you go to the day card and then you contemplate that all together. So yeah, definitely go back when you're ready to replay the episode, because I did speak a little bit about that exact question you were asking, where I feel like it is such a contemplative spread that it's just like you're doing it in parts. Like at each part, when you're adding a card, you're doing the contemplation as that card is added before you move on to the next step and then adding another card. And I think that this kind of spread, it's very intense, but the intensity or keeping the cards the same as you move through the month, and then move through the months to the year, gives you almost more to see. So like this is definitely a spread that you want to be taking notes on, taking pictures, seeing how things move and seeing how the energy interplays with each other. I got the World for the Year card. Interesting. So Dina's got Hermit and the Moon and then the World. So what does that tell you? You know, what are you seeing? Because remember, this is a kind of reading almost that is not going to make sense until December 31st. You know, like when you have all of this information leading up to the end of the year, you're going to have this many you're going to have 365 readings, you know. And you're going to see everything shift and you're going to see the energies interplay with each other. I think it's really fascinating. So thank you, Jenny, for bringing this to my attention. I had no idea. And I'm just like laughing. Nice. Yes. Snaps and props, Jenny. 2022 Tarot Planner devoted just for this spread. It's fascinating. It's really fascinating. So we're not even to the day card yet. So let me keep going. And I hope I'm answering some of your questions or at least providing some feedback or some, you know, contemplation on this, because it's just like, I feel like it's a lot of information that's coming from, you know, 5 to 6 cards. It's a lot. but having that, it's not necessarily through the lens, but it's like seeing the interplay between all of these cards. So I have the Fool card for February. So now I'm looking at the Fool as it is with the Justice card, and then we'll also with my birth cards of Death and Emperor. So to me, especially for the month of February and for everything that I've been going through, it's just like it makes a lot of sense for me to be pulling the Fool, because it is that kind of like control, lack of control, leaping, risk taking. It just makes a lot of sense, or at least makes a lot of sense to me, to my mind right now. So like my mind is already blown by this spread. So the next step after contemplate this card within the context of the year card and your birth cards. These cards together will contain an augmented message for the month. So each month, you return the previous month's card to the deck and draw a new card for the new month. So your birth cards and your year card will stay intact, and that's the reason why you need one deck that's completely devoted to this practice for 365 days for the year. So those won't change. You know, like for me, like those three cards are completely out of play because I have my birth cards of Death Emperor, and then I have my year card of Justice. But then, and also for the month of February, for the rest of February, it's going to be the Fool card. And then the days will change. But then when February turns over to March, I'm going to put the Fool card back into the deck and choose another month card before then choosing the day card for March 1st. So if you pick a card you've drawn before, draw again. Fourth, shuffle the remaining cards of the deck carefully and thoroughly once each day, and then draw a card for the day. And then add this card to the other 4 or 5, possibly, and contemplate the cards together as your message for the day. If you do this 5-card contemplation each day, changing the day and the month cards at the appropriate times, by the end of the year, your sense of yourself, your year, and the tarot will be very intricate, very detailed, very large, and very true. Fascinating, fascinating stuff. So, Dina says, periods of internal and external. I already have a card of month, 5 of rods. Okay. So you've got the 5 of rods. All right. So now we move on to the day. So I've got my February card as the Fool, and then the day card. Yes, exactly. Exactly, Katie. Sounds like a great way to get to know your deck. I think so. So I pulled today's card for February 18th, and my apologies, or, you know, like whenever you're viewing this is fine. It's totally fine. You know, like you could be in April of 2025 and you're viewing this for the first time, and that's totally cool. So today's card for me is the Lover's card. So I am like, this is heavy, man. So the Lover's card to me, I don't usually get the sense of like the fork in the, like, I usually get more of a sense of like the fork in the road and the choice when I have the Lover's card. But today, for me, it's like that contemplation of the Lover's card with the Fool and risk and responsibility and control and lack of control and releasing control and justice and balance. But also with the Lover's card, it's about like, how am I affecting other people? How am I affecting my partnership? What is fair? What is right? What can I be doing to be, you know, a loving partner, or a partner willing to share the weight or share the load? So this is fascinating to me. So I've got my cards strewn about here in front of me, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I download the image that I made so I can show you, all of you, what these cards look like. or what the spread might look like. Because I mean, you don't get a sense of how you're supposed to be placing these cards. So I just placed these cards how I saw it, very naturally. Hopefully this size is going to adjust. All right, let's see. Let me see if I can display this for you. All right, can everyone see that? If so, I'm just going to clean up my desk here. So here's how I laid things out. Actually, let me take away the overlay, which is quite beautiful, but also you can't see this in its entirety. Hold on. Oh, no. There we go. Okay, it's a little bit better. Okay, so at the top, I put my birth cards. And the reason I say 2 or 3 is because there is a birth card combination, which is a 3 card. I think there's only 1 3 card, or there might be 2 3 card birth card combinations. I happen to have a twofer. So at the top left, I have my birth cards, and I've labeled that as such. At the top right, I put my year card. Then I pulled the month card and put it right here in the middle. And then for the day card, I put at the bottom. So to me, visually, this was the easiest way for me to parse this out so that I could show all of you. Does that make sense to everybody? Please say yes in the chat. And I'm also using this picture as reference so that I can take one of my other decks that is not my workhorse deck, because I happen to grab the deck that I had to hand, which is my Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith, which is my workhorse deck that I use with many of my clients. So I can't use this for the year-long spread method because it's not my dedicated deck, but I am probably going to use another tarot deck, recreate this, and continue to do the year-long spread as a practice because I find it really fascinating. So thank you, Jenny, again, for suggesting this topic. It's really, really interesting. So Katie says yes. Good. I'm glad everyone can see it. Again, you do not have to lay out your year-long spread this way. It's just the way that I thought would be best, just to keep track of things for myself so that I know when to switch things out and which to switch out. I was going to do the month card and the day card side by side, but then I was getting nervous that I was going to confuse the two, even though I don't think I would have confused the two, but to my mind, I just wanted some kind of linear separation so that I wouldn't confuse the two. So since this episode has been requested by Jenny, I do want to ask Jenny, do you have any questions for me? Did I answer your question sufficiently? Considering you brought this to my attention and wanted me to do an episode on it. And is there any other questions from anybody else about the spread? And do I need to go over the order again? Because don't worry, there will always be a replay which you can pause and do the steps yourself. Wow, that is crazy, Jenny. I got to display that. So I'm glad you're finding it of interest. The really wild thing is that since I've been doing the spread on January 1st, I've pulled a major arcana for the daily card 19 flippin' times. What? Statistically, that shouldn't be happening. But then again, professional tarot reader here, weird things happen with the tarot. And, you know, whatever it is that the tarot wants us to hear, it's gonna be clear. It's gonna it's gonna whack us over the head as many times as we need to hear the message. I'd be very curious to know what kind of messages you've been getting from the tarot since starting this on January 1st. I mean, again, you don't have to get too personal if you don't want to. But pulling the major arcana for the daily card 19 flippin' times when you have, you know, like, yes, you've pulled out some cards and now those cards are not in play, but like you're basically working with the entire deck minus 4 cards or 5 cards. That's crazy. That really is crazy. That says something too. Because I find, especially in a reading that I'm doing either myself or with a client, when the major arcana comes up, that's usually big pivot points or like a message from spirit, like something, you know. And actually, it's kicking myself because I really wanted to look at the spirit spread from Melissa Sonova's Tarot Elements. But a friend of mine has borrowed that book, and I realized that, oh yeah, that's right, so and so has that book, so I can't look at it right now, which is totally fine. If you're watching this and you're the friend that borrowed it from, it's totally fine. It's totally fine if you're getting use out of it, if it's helping you, like, by all means. I need it back eventually, but not right now. I kept shuffling major arcana cards because I wanted to get something serious, and my year card is justice as well. Feel like I should redo the shuffle. So you want to redo, which shuffle do you want to redo? The one for the year card or the one for the day card? Or the one for the month card? Because if it's not resonating with you, like, yeah, you could redo the shuffle, but also it could be like just something that you're not aware of or a pattern that you're not aware of yet. You know, sometimes when a reading doesn't make sense, it just needs time to make sense later. Oh, the year card reshuffle because it was the same as you. Oh, maybe we're learning very similar lessons right now, Katie. can't have all the same stuff, LOL. Well, I'm sure the month card and the day card is going to be different for you, so I wouldn't worry so much about it. That, or, you know, my influence is extending across the globe, which is interesting. Yes. All right. Any other questions before we move into the weekend forecast? Like, I really love this topic. Again, go to tarotschool.com. You know, calculate your birth cards. Try out this spread. If you need more information from about this year-long spread, like, please go to tarotschool.com. Tell them I sent you, and tell them that we tried out the year-long spread with the 5 to 6 cards, and it's really interesting to you, and also support their work because they're really great people. You know, so much tarot knowledge, like, ridiculous, awesome. You know, please support them. So Jenny says, I feel like having the Hermit Moon birth cards can cause me difficulty seeing things with clarity sometimes. I think these majors are each telling me how to see things more clearly. Interesting. Of course, with the Wheel of Fortune for the year card, I feel like anything goes. Yeah, it could be, but it also, like, the Wheel of Fortune, can be things are on an upswing, and also there's karma, there's fate, there's luck. So, I was saying this in a reading last night, actually, about the fascinating things that I'm learning, and I think it is the tapping certification, where it's just like the things that we're not seeing, even though it is in our visual window, and I'm going to mess it up. I feel like I'm going to have to find my notes to get the exact scientific term, but I took a ton of notes. Hold on. I'm not going to be able to remember it because I don't think I took notes about it. Ah, yes, I found it. I think it's called memory reconsolidation. Um, yes, because in tapping, it's sometimes one of the results of tapping is completely forgetting about what the initial problem was that used to be like bound to you, where it's just like you couldn't get away from it, and now it's just like you don't even remember what your life was like with it, or you completely forgot about a certain aspect. So it's just like I think it's called the apex effect, because it's no longer front of mind, it's no longer hardwired, it's behind you. It loosens the neurological connections and rewires the parts of the brain that used to give it a lot of attention. And it also is memory reconsolidation. So the example that was used was about how our nose is in our vision actually all the time. However, we already we have almost the brain has a way of like taking it out of the equation, so we don't even see it because it's just there. So because it's so present, our brain kind of erases it so that we don't focus on it. But then if you focus on your nose, like obviously, like you can see it, it's there. But most of the time, like our brain will filter out what is already present or always present. So I feel like that is very applicable to what you're saying for the difficulty seeing things with clarity sometimes. And the Wheel of Fortune for the year card, I feel like anything goes. I think these majors are each telling me how to see things more clearly. It could be that the moon and the hermit cards, the birth cards, you're, it's like you're not seeing clearly or whatever. So because it's not front of your mind. So you're just taking it out of the equation entirely. I don't know why I'm making the connection between the two, but I've already made the connection between the two like twice in 24 hours. I don't know. I feel like it's such a powerful effect where it's just like we don't know sometimes what we unconsciously put out of our minds or what we unconsciously do pay attention to. Hopefully that helps. Okay, month card resonates. 8 of Cups in this deck is called Rebirth. Okay. Quick question for the day card. Do you put the month card back in the deck without year or birth card? Forgot what you said. No, you don't. So those cards, so if you look at the screen that's already displayed, this is the reason why I love Be Live. The screen that's already displayed, so the birth card stay, the year card stays, and the month card stays. And the day card changes until the month turns over to a new month. And then you're replacing out the month card and then the day card. And then keeping the month card for that month and then replacing the day card. Yes, Google memory reconsolidation and also Google the apex effect. Actually, I'm going to Google the apex effect. Yeah, the apex effect is a term coined by Roger Callahan, founder of thought field therapy, to refer to a phenomenon frequently observed in energy psychology practice. Clients tend to dismiss the effectiveness of tapping because once the problem is solved, they have difficulty believing or remembering that it was once severe. So I think that combination, but also I think memory reconsolidation is another. I think it's more memory reconsolidation. Jesus. If anyone just heard that burp, it was not me. It was Mr. Tarot by Hilary. I don't think either of those terms are actually the terms that I want to, that actually describe that whole effect of, not seeing something that's in the field of vision. So. You're welcome, Katie. Zuri says, Katie, loving your cards. Me too, actually. I think it's very promising. Zuri's saying, I'm dead. I'm assuming from the burp. That was very resonant. Jenny says, I had the 8 of Swords for my January month card. I was so glad to pull a new one on February 1st. Yeah, that's a lot. That's constrict. Ooh, your January feels like it was constricting then. Yep. Mr. Tarot by Hilary made my night. Don't encourage him, guys. Can you just not encourage him? Fortunately, he went out for his walk. So I'm just laughing here at his burp. That was quite a blast. That's not even the best one that he's done, really. All right, we have to get to the weekend forecast. Otherwise, I am terrified now that the power is just going to blank out in the middle of this, and I'm going to be very unhappy if it does. So let's get to the weekend forecast. I'm so glad that we did this topic. Thank you again to Jenny for suggesting this topic. I'm definitely going to be looking into this and doing this with a different deck, not my workhorse deck. And let me hide that and put back up my overlay. So if you were here for, a freebie, which is definitely not the purpose of these weekly shows. I do freebies, but just at the end of the episode, at the beginning of the episode too, but mostly at the end of the episode. So we do a weekend forecast, either a tarot deck or an oracle deck, card to guide you. So Katie says this was an excellent topic. I agree. Jenny also says, thank you so much, Hilary, for going over it. I'll go back and watch the replay of what I missed. Absolutely. That's what the replay is there for. And if you guys need to pause it and do the work and do the prep work and then come back, absolutely. But this was a blast. Thank you so much for suggesting it. It's amazing. There's so much good information about tarot out there. And sometimes you just have to filter through it and, check your gut as well, to make sure that, things are on the up and up, because this is the great thing about the internet too, but is also the bad thing about the internet is that anyone can publish a website and anyone can put out a video or anyone can, upload information, but in determining the efficacy of that information or the facts of that information or the truth of that information, that's another thing entirely. And that's part of the reason why I actually made the chorus that I did. Yeah, so Katie's thanking you, Jenny. I thank you as well. So this is the reason why I made the chorus that I did for my tarot intuitive students, or the Tarot Intuitive, which I didn't do last year because I just didn't have the time and I felt very overwhelmed and we were in a pandemic. So like you can get a lot of information about tarot for free on the internet. And actually I encourage people to do that. But at the same time, you do sometimes need a guide to be able to help you sift through that information or get a method or do something that works for you that, honors that tarot is a skill and a practice and, helps you to integrate tarot into your daily life. And a lot of the times, like, no matter how much information that can be churned out in front of you or that you can research, sometimes you just need a helping hand with sifting through that information and finding what works for you. And that, I think, is something that I do with my tarot intuitive students. So I'm definitely considering opening that up again for enrollment. I'm usually, I think, in module 2 at this time of year, but I think I'm probably going to be doing that more to the early spring, and also researching making it an evergreen course that you can find on Teachable or another platform so that you can go through on your own pace, but then I will be there for you for any live Q&As or workshopping and everything. So definitely inspiring me to realize there's a lot of information out there, but sometimes that information may or may not be good. Haha, I went to a tarot meetup and the woman who led it just read from some notes she had. She knew nothing. Oh, that sucks, Jenny. No, that pisses me off so much. Oh my God. Ugh. See, that kind of story, like I've heard so many stories like that and it really annoys me. And I'm not saying that I'm like the preeminent expert on tarot, but I just did this calculation today, actually. I've been working with tarot for 25 years this year. Like, I haven't been reading professionally for 25 years. I think I've been reading professionally for at least 20 years. But I started reading tarot or learning tarot at 16. So it's been 25 years of me working with the cards. So I hope I know something about the cards, but I'm never going to be someone that says, yes, I'm actually the preeminent tarot expert and you must listen to me at all times. Like, no. And, that to me in the tarot community is a big no-no. Like the person that thinks that they know everything, I don't need to know it all. I just need, someone that is willing to share this information and also knowing that the beginning of true knowledge is knowing nothing. Melissa Sanova, who is one of the co-hosts of the Card Slingers Coast to Coast podcast, has a really great mentality. I can't remember where she got it from, but she talks about, apprentice to journeyman to master, and then after master, you start over back at apprenticeship again. So it's always that cycle of learning and growing and teaching, and then going back to being a student. We're all students, really. Zuri says, I still remember the AOL days, miss that logon sound. I do not miss that login sound, especially not that. No, thank you. Dar card? Day card? Darn it, it resonates too. 7 of Swords called insecurity in this deck. Yep. I think I'm going to make this a regular spread and shuffle. Awesome. Yeah, we'll have to do a check-in. We'll probably I'll have to put that on the calendar. We'll do a check-in on how our year spreads are going. Yeah, Jenny says I was so embarrassed for her. That is embarrassing. I mean, like, oh, and I mean, it's fine having notes and referring back to your notes, but like, if you can't talk at length about the tarot and, the different cards and, like just off the cuff, with your experience, like you shouldn't be teaching. Sorry, is that a terrible thing to say? I mean, that's not gatekeeping either. I mean, there was a little bit of a friction where people are just like, well, like I just am intuitively guided, and it's just like, no, but you have to have some kind of some kind of learning to be able to then teach this stuff. You can't just like I would never want a doctor or a lawyer saying to me, "Oh, well, I'm just intuitively guided and I don't have any certification or learning or diploma or whatever." And it's just like, oh, like no, no. And I'm not talking about tarot certification. That's not what I'm talking about. I just want a tarot reader that I know knows their shit and has studied and worked hard and keeps on learning and growing and attends conferences or classes and keeps on their professional development. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. I'm not talking about certification. Another question, do you read this every day or could you shuffle for the whole month ahead of time? Oh, that is an excellent question. I think you could. I think you could probably do all of the month ahead of time, but at the same time, I think that would be a little bit overwhelming. Like if you just take the weekend to do all of your the entire month. I don't know. I think that's a lot. I think just doing it daily and adding and switching out the day card, I think would be enough. I mean, like more, like if you want to do all of it all in one shot, like go for it. But I probably wouldn't. I probably would just do it daily and take some notes and then, do it daily again. All right, I'm getting really nervous that the power is just gonna out. So let's move on to the weekend forecast. Zuri says, I'd want the minor arcana thrown in if I was doing a daily card. Yeah, but you do have the minor arcana thrown in. It's all so you put the majors and the minor back in after doing the I think after doing the year card. So I think the majors only is only for the year card minus the birth cards. So you're still, I think. Let me go back to my notes. Yes. So you're only doing the birth cards and then the year card with the majors. The rest of them are minors and majors. Yeah. For a second there, I got terrified that I did it wrong. Anyway, let us go to the weekend forecast. And if we cut out in the middle of the weekend forecast, then that's just a sign from the universe that it wasn't meant to be. But I would really like to give you a weekend forecast. So I'm going to pull from the Super Attractor deck because I feel like we need to switch over from the tarot because I feel a little bit taroted out right now. I hope that's okay with everybody. So let me actually show you the top of the deck. So we've got the Super Attractor. And hopefully you can't hear my loud neighbors right now. Everyone was very impressed by your burp, by the way.
Oh, good. That's a good one.
He says, thank you. It was a good one. I told you not to encourage him, So what do we most need to know for the weekend? What affirmation do we need? So this one's been following me around. Yeah, but it's not actually metallic foiled itself, the deck itself. It's just the package. It's not the actual cards. I do wish for a little bit of sparkle on the edges, but Not so, Zuri, unfortunately. So this affirmation card has been stalking me a little bit in a good way. So I'm kind of glad that it came up, and I'm also kind of like, ugh, that it came up. But this card is, I accept that good things come easily. I am a super attractor. So that is our weekend forecast or affirmation from the Super Attractor affirmations deck. I call it an affirmations deck. Yeah, you can use it as an oracle deck, but it's mostly affirmations deck. So I hope that that serves you this weekend. Remember that good things can come easily. You don't have to work so hard. You don't have to strive so much. You don't have to struggle so much. So Zuri says, just wait until you hear Mr. Zuri's antics and the parrots get in on the action. I will have heaps of that. Thank you. Awesome. So great episode, everybody. Thank you all so much for participating. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I love that I shuffled that back in. Okay. So I want to remind everybody once again that we do these episodes every Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so we did a year-long spread tonight. We're going to do another year-long spread next Friday. And it is called the 13 Moon Spread. And this is actually something that I do as a specialty reading in my shop right now, tarotbyhilary.com, if you'd like to book a reading. And so I do this as like a 15-page PDF forecast. It does take a while to do, so we're probably not going to be doing a full tarot reading for the collective for the year 2022 because it does take a while. It's very intense. But I will show you basically the spread and show you an example of what I've done before. So Katie says, need some good affirming stuff in my life. Thank you, as always, for a wonderful lesson. Hearts and kisses and love. So thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you again, Jenny, for suggesting this topic. Have a good weekend, everybody. Fridays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please tune in next week for the 13 Moon Spread with Kim Kranz, and I'll show you how to do that. It's actually pretty simple. It's a card a month, 13 cards, card a month, and then the 13th card is the year card. Oh, you're so welcome, Zuri. So Zuri says, thank you for sharing your guidance and wisdom as always. Well, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I also do want to remind everybody that you can get a reading with me at tarotbyhilary.com. My schedule is pretty open right now. I'm sure that's going to change. So I have capacity for, I think, 3 clients a day. Starting Monday. Though I do have some spots over the weekend. I think my Sunday plans might have gotten canceled. So I think Sunday afternoon is open. So get on my calendar. tarotbyhilary.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell, do whatever it is that you can do to keep watching these episodes and supporting me. This is my full-time gig, and I would love to serve you through the magic and the power of the tarot. So once again, I am Hilary, professional tarot reader, demystifying the mystical and putting you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. Have a fabulous, fabulous weekend and a great night. Bye.